Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night to everyone who is now joining. Good night to you. My apologies for the late start. Good night to you. I had to get certain things going so I can get certain information. And, you know, it's a fight. It's the beginning of a brand new day, but it's a fight. A fight that worth fighting for. Good night to you all. Good night to you all. Good night to. Oh, this person wants me to say a shout out to them. Okay. Good night, Karen. Basil. Good night to you. Good night. I hope you are enjoying the show. I hope you're about to enjoy the show. Sorry, because I'm now starting. And tonight, it's about distract and deflect again. You know? But greetings to you all. Before I start the show, I must let you know that uh, because of, how should I put it over? Because of the lack of certain contributions pertaining to the distribution of foodstuff and clothes that I will normally get at the end of each year, I couldn't have done anything for the past first 100 pounds that I've shared out. Reasons for that is because there are a few things that needs to be cleared, which is the commercial boxes that are still at the shippers, and the lack of financing to buy certain food stuff. The clothes is not the problem. We got lots of clothing, but we don't have the food stuff. So let me be honest with you, the food stuff is not there. And welcome to you all again who are now joining. So I hope that you understand, because a lot of you will be looking forward for me to have this sharing of goods to, I can't say the less fortunate, but persons who are in need. So I do apologize because I didn't keep you up to date because of the lack of monetary donations towards this plight. Uh, there isn't much that could have been shared out. But to let you know that Christmas is not here as yet. We have 4 more days that is left. And I hope that you try to make it work as early as possible so persons can get, the desired stuff that they will need, especially at this time. But otherwise than that, welcome to you all. Tonight, it's about distract and deflect, that you must stay focused. We're going to go straight into, and good night to you from Guyana to the Caribbean, West Indian, and the diaspora. I know I started late, so I couldn't, say much, but good night to you all. Let me get right into it. The People's National Congress reform, along with the combined political parties, which is a partnership for national unity. The umbrella is a partnership for national unity / AFC. AFC is a separate party from the combined parties. The Alliance for Change, it is a separate party than the combined parties that are formed under the Partnership for National Unity. Now, there's a document that they call the Constitution of this organization. And that document has a lot of things that are written up in it. And I was on Facebook 2 days ago. That would have been on Saturday. And there would have been a post of a comment from Mr. Joseph Harmon talking about who must be the opposition leader and who would have been the party leader. Now, under that document, and I want persons who are looking to understand and realize what's going on. Under that document, Gavin Matthews already, me mouthing that on it, they tear up. Under that document, Mr. Harmon, it says, as a matter of fact, not under the specifics of the document, would have stated that the leader for the largest party in the group of a Partnership for National Unity plus AFC, the leader for that party must be the opposition leader or presidential candidate. So I want to make this correct because there's a little twist and tone and misunderstanding on who being misinformed. So I'm helping you to become informed. So far as of an hour ago, that document, that dossier, or that constitution is still valid. It has never changed. It has never changed. I'm talking without correct. I'm talking with no apologies. So the elect leader or the elected leader, the leader now, because he was confirmed today, of the PNC is Mr. Norton. Now he, by that constitution, by that dossier, or that by that rule of engagement, of agreement under the combined parties that have formed a partnership for national unity plus AFC, must be the leader of that combined group, presidential candidate or opposition leader. Now, here we got laugh. We got real laugh now. Now, for the office of the opposition leader, which I may say is Mr. Aubrey Norton, must have to be fulfilled. So, I don't know what I got on social media, but, Harmon, just pick up your little dustpan and your dust broom and dust yourself out of the way. I am glad that you have conceded. And now, as your former chairperson, Miss Ali, Amna Ali, who's now working to unify the party, I think that now you should pull such a statement down from Facebook and work in unifying the party to make it a viable place, because it is time for tyrants to face tyrants. Jagdio thinks he's a terrorist. Oh boy. The GPL meter man in your yard when you're trying to read your meter because you've met it. They got to pay the bills now. They ain't got nobody for sit down and say, oh, well, I'm writing a letter because of my disapproval. They're walking now. It's not working now. So, to those who are now joining, share the live. Because Gavin Matthews is here to tell the truth, to bring the information as it is, to inform you, not to misinform you. Share the live. Let them know that Dr. Matthews is in the house. I'm a happy man. But this is only level 1. I want level 2, 3, 4, and 5 of happiness. So, Mr. Harmon, we're going back to that document, that dossier. That dossier now was to tell you that you need to just step aside. That's all you need to do. Maybe Mr. Norton may bring his own shadow ministers. You understand? So that person who is relaying to me, he says, hold on, I want to answer questions because I like when it says here, if you're reading at the bottom of the screen, Gavin, Mr. Granger was the leader of the list. And Mr. Granger stepped down and appointed Mr. Harmon. Lost, he needs to tender his resignation and let Norton take over. Of course. So totally right. So totally right. So we now need to understand that this guy needs to live up not to his expectation, but to the constitution that governs the combined parties. kudos to all those who have gotten new. I was made to understand they have a new chairperson, and it's a lot of young people are now being elected to the position. That shows you that democracy is on its way in Guyana. Not dictatorship, democracy. And the constitutional arms of the Constitution must work in order for democracy to take its place in its proper form. So, Mr. Harmon, I think if you have problems in recognizing that dossier, I think now it's time you should just take another read of it and understand we don't want any agreement with you remaining as opposition leader until no. We need you to push yourself out. You already got a leader of the party. The leader of the party becomes opposition leader automatically as the dossier entails or the constitution entails. And when I say constitution, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the constitution that constitutes the rules and regulations of the Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change. So since that is said and done, I hope to those who are now looking would commonly understand what I'm talking about. So no one can be misinterpreted or be misunderstood. So now we finish with that. Let's go on to the, what you call it, the elections petition. Tomorrow is the 21st of December. And the elections petition 88 and 99 would be summoned before all parties who are providing and those who are challenging, those who are defending and those who are prosecuting. No, sorry, those who are petitioning and those who are prosecuting the petition. So, hold on, let me read it. Okay, I got time with them. At the end of the day, Mr. Hammond got to step down and he got to provide unity to unite the party. So let's talk about the elections petition. Tomorrow is the day of the judgment on whether or not the courts must hear the petition. That judgment will be handed down by the Chancellor of the Judiciary, the acting Chancellor of the Judiciary. And we will know tomorrow, I think it's about around 10 o'clock, 10, 11. We will know the fate of both petitions. Now, if we may go back to both petitions, I want people to, those who are looking, must understand what those petitions is. The first petition that was kicked out the door was elections petitions 99. And how it was kicked out the door, it is because Mr. Jack Dio was challenging the notice of when Mr. Granger was notified about the case study and the hearing of the elections petition 99. First, they were challenging two things. They were saying they were not both served on time. Both Jack Dio was saying that he wasn't served on time. So he he forgot about that and decided to challenge that Mr. Granger wasn't served on time. And that challenge kicked the elections petition through the door because somehow or the other, Madam Wilkshire, Roxanne George Wilkshire, indicated to the Guyanese public that she has all right as a High Court judge to say by her mind she thinks that those who served the petition, although an affidavit of oath was provided to say that the petition was served on time, instead of she challenged the officer who provided the affidavit to state that the petition was served on time. She didn't challenge it. She said by her mind, you understand the kind of craziness we got in this country? By her mind, she thinks that the petition wasn't served on time. She thinks that the evidence provided that the petition wasn't served on time. She thinks. But none of the persons who provided the information by an affidavit of oath to say that it was served on time, the High Court didn't challenge them to provide or call them into questioning. In case that they be found lying, they can be jailed. That didn't happen. What she did, it was like Brazil versus Germany in the World Cup. She put 7 goals in Brazil. She said, straight through the door. Y'all keep on marching. And Elections Petition 99 was the evidence of the violation of the Constitution. Elections Petition 99 was to provide the evidence to show how the constitutional criminal Claudette Swing violated the Constitution by creating Order 60. That is what Elections Petition 99 had in its position to challenge. Elections Petition 88 was challenging the unconstitutional action of the Guyana Elections Commission. And then she said, because there is no evidence to Petition 88, she kicked it through the door because the evidence is Petition 99. You know, oh, sweet Guyana, boy. Oh, sweet Guyana. Country where all the lawlessness takes place. There's no democracy in this country. I see air fraud, Ali the dunce. When you download an app from the play, from what do you call it? When you download an app from Google Play Store into your phone, you got a steady infomercial that comes up that says when they took over an empty treasury. I'm talking name just now, hold on. We can talk about the empty treasury, hold on. No worries. Come just now. I continue talking about this petition. It's up on my mind. So, tomorrow is the day when the acting chancellor of the judiciary will pass her pronouncement, no, will pass her judgment pertaining to the court, three judges that sit on the court, to say if the High Court has engaged, no, what was it? Hold on. Her position is to say if the appellate court would hear and can hear the appeal of petitions 99 and 88. So making sure that the information that I give to you all is correct. Because she would have already kicked it through the door. And there is an appeal to the appellate court, which is the highest court in the Caribbean for Guyana, to hear on any electoral matters, which only one part of the Constitution gives way for that, is Articles 25(5) of the Constitution, that gives the appeal court to be the last place in Guyana to hear any electoral matters, not the Caribbean Court of Justice. So I want to make sure that that is clear. So all you, those who constitutional people are looking, hold on, wait. Oh boy, I like delete and block and delete these people. I tell you, yes. So the Guyana Elections Commission will know their fate tomorrow. That's one. I want someone to challenge the chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission. I would like that challenge. Upon taking her to court of violating the will of the people, which is the Constitution, her personally, she's an ex-High Court judge, ex-Chief Justice also too, if I'm correct, or acting Chief Justice, whichever one she once held. She knows the law. She studied. According to my recollection, she is one of the well-learned individuals. So she thought she found the loophole and activate Order 60. Think she has wide range of autonomy. By who? So, just to make sure that I'm correct and everything is pertaining to pen and paper, tomorrow is that day, the 21st of December, when we will get to hear if, hold on, okay, when we will get to hear if, this number looks familiar, if the High Court will hear both elections petition and carry on with the work of the judiciary. Well, when that happens, Mr. Dharamlal, please send extra security individuals at the High Court where the recount and the general elections information are being held. The declaration with 10 returned districts from returning officers. Mr. Dharamlal, because you said, hold on, wait. Shouldn't even call you Mr. The de facto minister. The de facto minister of local government. I think that's his position. Send the extra security guards at the High Court So to make sure that that building doesn't go up in flames, we want 24 hours security. Every 3-hour shift must change so they can keep the eye open, nobody dropping to sleep. Because you said that extra security, I know y'all in the sheriff security services body friends, you know. So you want to give them extra monies so they can come off the most valuable wanted list at the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the department and at the State Department level. You know, they can't hide. Them people can't hide. You could change your clothes. You can't change your face. Can't hide. You could change the way of business. But the manner in which you accumulate the resources to develop your business, that's what's questionable. It carries a nice star with a question mark dot at the bottom. So we know you want to give your body friends some pepped up money. It's all right. It's okay, but I'm telling you now, you know, send them boys at the High Court so they can secure the property. To secure the property. So these documents wouldn't disappear. Let me take this call. Thank you for calling the GMS Live Voice of Democracy. Good evening. Good night to you.
Good night, Governor. Good night.
Good night.
Quickly, who are the judges that sit on that panel here for the appellate court?
I don't know if somebody got up on leave, if somebody's sick, if somebody got the covert, or if somebody got the COVID card for coming for sit up on the bench tomorrow. I won't be able to say. All I know is that it is the Chancellor's Court because the de facto Chatri attorneys general would have challenged the Constitution. So the Chancellor has to defend the Constitution. You understand?
Yeah.
That's all I know is that it's taking place tomorrow. But otherwise than that, I don't know the rest.
Okay. So she go through all the response.
No, what
She will now be making this decision.
No, what has been challenged? Remember, a Partnership for National Unity and Alliance for Change would have presented the petition as petitioners on the election. So Ruction Judge Wilkshire would have kicked both of them out, and it would have been appealed to the appellate court from the petitioners.
Right.
So what happened? What happened? The
They don't have to
state.
put it in writing?
No, it was already appealed. So what happened? The state,
Okay.
which is the Attorney's General Office, the state represents the state, would have now challenged the High Court, the appellate court, to say that you cannot hear the appeal from these petitioners. The court has no jurisdiction. So now tomorrow, the Chancellor of the Judiciary will have to give that decision because the state is now challenging the Constitution.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, I got you.
Remember, the state is
I
not
got you.
challenging the petition. The state is not challenging the petition. the state is
So
challenging
you're saying,
the Constitution, which is the appellate court.
yes, I got you.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the appellate court first gives the green light for the case to be heard.
Yes. Tomorrow will be that decision. That is
No,
why.
I mean, so they now decide to say, they decide to, if the state decides to try to stop it by challenging the Constitution.
Right. The state decides to challenge the Constitution, which is the appellate court.
Oh,
The state isn't challenging the elections petition. They have to defend themselves to say whether the elections petition is within the confines of the Constitution. You get my point?
Yeah.
So what is happening tomorrow? It is because the state, which is the Attorney's General Office, with all of them lawyers were saying down there, and the Chatri, which is the Minister of Legal Affairs, is challenging the Constitution, which is the appellate court, to say to the appellate court that they are in no legal rights to hear the elections petition, because that would have already been kicked out by the Supreme Court. But people fail to realize that there's one court that is higher than the Supreme Court, is the appellate court.
Exactly.
The appellate courts now has 3 judges, and they have a president or a senior judge that takes part in these decision makings to say whether the Supreme Court has violated its constitutional duties. You understand? So now the state wants to prevent the appellate court from their constitutional duties by challenging it. So now the Chancellor of the Judiciary has to step in to now to change that from the appellate court to the court of the Chancellor. If you get my point.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Good.
So the Chancellor is, as what you said, the Chancellor is the person who's going to make this decision.
Tomorrow,
the
yes.
Herself.
Yes, whether or not, no, she and 3 judges, they all will have to give a summary on how they came with that decision. Well, everybody know the other one, who would represent the PPP. We don't know about the other 2.
Is that Singh?
No, I think something Prasad is his name. I don't even know. You understand?
Okay. I thought it was something too. Yeah, well, we know directly how these guys they behave, and it is so pity, and these guys, they just don't care. And these are the people who jumping up and telling others that they're one-sided and they're racist. You're not to talk.
No, here, hold on. Wait, Skipper. You can't blame them, They are their own product of their own system. You can't blame them. So the only thing they can do is regurgitate. You understand? They can only vomit up back what they were being fed for all those years. You can imagine you're going to University of Ghana to become an independent individual in whichever faculty you want to be certified in. And when you come out, you join a system where the system now takes that right away Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. You know, one thing I liked about when I was going to school, I had very credible and nice teachers. You know, one of my teachers taught me, she said, if you think ignorance is expensive, try education. Then she reversed it. She said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Well, it's vice versa. What one means to say and understand that you pay very greatly when you're ignorant. And when you're educated, sometimes it takes your life away. Because people don't want you to teach others what you know. So, if they want to cut me off the ear and they want to do this very steadily, you remember when those days when I had to sit down and explain the Constitution of Order 60, I used to cut off quick. Sometimes I even want to say 6, I didn't even say T as yet. I don't have the ear. Imagine I don't carry the kind of crowd like some entertainers do. And I getting cut off. So you could imagine how expensive I am and important. But they ain't gonna change my topic. Topic is distract, deflect, and take. What is happening is that tomorrow it is the decision that will be given by the appellate court to all those regurgitators that I would know. That decision still pending and final. It is to say that the appellate court, in its constitutional directives or duties, must hear an appeal comes from any court that sits in the cooperative republic of this wonderful country that we call Guyana. It is the final body of judges to hear any electoral matters. So that is why the Chatri jumped up and said that he thinks, I believe him, Wiltshire is the same thing, that he thinks, oh, and then he can get up with all kind of abbreviation, the synopsis and scenarios and all these craziness that comes out of his mouth. To people who listen to him and become fond of his arrogance. That he feels that the appellate court has no jurisdiction to hear an appeal of an electoral matter that was finally given judgment in the Supreme Court by the acting chief judges. Well, you know, the most I can say, it's a lot of ignorance indeed. And he can only peddle the nonsense that comes out of his mouth because he feels that he's speaking to retards. You know, when a minister accustomed to saying the kind of filth that comes out of the Chatri's mouth and nobody objects or challenges his process of propaganda. He thinks that he's Lord God Mukakius, unchallengeable. Well, wake up, Chatri. Got this black man sit on him. You know, hold on. At another person I want black. Man, here what is happening. Here was one tell you. Don't company show stop the education process, man. You know, it's like you're making sense. You know, it's like if it's like the dunce we got. The buy a custom plane was one in preschool game. Oh, he's accustomed to, I don't know if he knows this poem, in the heart of a seed very deep, so deep. I don't think he knows that. But let us try one of the preschool games where you have some blocks, some holes, and all kinds of things protrudes out through the hole. You have a hammer and you have to hit it down back. I think he accustomed to playing that game, but you can't put a 5-year-old child in the seat and in the office of the president to rule a country that is very educated. It's hard for him to understand even his own self when he speaks. It's even hard to pronounce him as a dunce. It's very shameful because to know that, you know, guys from the country that I represent, guys are dunce. My Lord. But elections petition 88 and 99 would be getting its fair share of judgment tomorrow. Now, because it took so long for them to bring me back on, I must proceed to the other relevant task. Hold on, I think somebody called just now. Yes. Now we got to talk about the dunce. Now this guy is on Google Play Store, infomercials, and he's talking about, for people who don't know who I'm talking about the child that we have as a president, the dunce. And he's on this Play Store and he's talking about taking over office with an empty treasury. Well, a fraud. You must understand that it was the David Granger government who had the forensic audit done, and we have found over $60 million hidden in different accounts. So we had to take that money and spend it on our country. So whilst you were hiding money, and I'm talking about you were minister then, a fraud, so it was your government also too, then and now, that you guys were stashing money. It was done over a period of years. One account got 15 million, one account, and I'm talking about US dollars. One account got 25 million, one account got 18 million US dollars. So we had to take that money that we so found, put it into the consolidated fund and spend it. So you think we would have left some of the money that you had for you to take over some again? Well, we're still waiting on you because we know that you're stashing again. You can't carry it overseas into the overseas accounts that you so surely desire of having. because the Americans, they are waiting on you so graciously. To the dons that we have, the Canadians are waiting on you so graciously. And they want to take more of your properties away. So when you finish governing your country, you'll be filling their pockets with the loot that you will be taking, and nobody seems to care about. So when you talk about an empty treasury and shredded records, at least somebody little decent, because the PPP has a history of burning public offices down that has vital records. So nobody can be prosecuted. If you think a lie, ask Bishop One Ejil. As a matter of fact, this guy ain't no bishop. Ask One Ejil. Because I don't know which God he's representing. But just to let you know that when you talk about an empty treasury, yes, the money had to be spent. You say a fraud. In the David Granger time, it has to be spent. You're hiding public funds. You're hiding taxpayers' money in separate secret accounts. Why do you think Ashley Singh and Braswington and all of these people, they were charged? Because there was an investigation done and people wanted to know what do they know about certain acquired or accumulated funds, where they went. You understand what I mean? So I want to say to you that we're not stupid. There are some Guyanese who play dead to see what funeral they are having, but not me. Not a bit of it. Not a bit of it. The last thing I want to speak of, nobody is trending on. It is the $100+ million to be spent in 3 months. The de facto regime went to Parliament last week, Thursday and Friday, to acquire an emergency fund of spending monies that they can't give account for, or the economy. They want to spend $27 million in 3 months. Here was the hurtful part of it. They want to spend 27 billion, not million, $27 billion in 3 months, which is about $135 million, roughly around that area. They want to spend that money. And tell me you can't give public servants more than 7.5%? Are you serious? You want to spend $135 million in 3 months before the budget. Before the 2022 budget, you want to spend that money. Lord, I just got to scratch, man. I know, see why sometimes I get headache throughout the nights. Because these boys, I tell you, and nobody ain't getting jail. $27 billion these boys want to spend in 3 months. And you got no accountability. Do we have a Ministry of Finance? Oh, no, sir. Do we have a Minister of Finance? Oh, no, sir. So whose office are you auditing? A man tell me Ashley Singh is the Minister of Finance. I said, you living in Guyana? I said, did you check the man's portfolio? The man is a senior minister within the office of the president with responsibilities of finance. That is his position. The minister above him is the vice president. The jail board. This is the man who above him. So which minister you talking about? We don't, we know that we don't have a Ministry of Finance. We have an office with responsibility of finance. We don't have a Ministry of Finance. The sign is still there. But check when documents are being forwarded out of that ministry, what is being written on it. That's an office with responsibility of finance. We don't have a Minister of Finance. If we had a Minister of Finance, maybe the Auditor General would have been able to say something about the $9.5 billion that weren't able to be audited. Man, look, let me tell you something. These people's stories so tweet. Too much sugar tears out your pancreas, makes you get hepatitis, and turns you into, what was the word? A frenzy. Because there's plenty of sugar, but these men got sugar too much. Living free, only in Guyana. Only in Guyana. By the way, I want to say thank you for those who have joined me. Although we had a breaking transmission by the de facto, as usual. You know that big building behind Castellani House in Castellani Compound? Yes, they're the ones who controls the feed to Facebook. They're the ones who delete your notifications from your phone numbers. They hack into it. So when you call Gavin Matthews, they check and see everything on Facebook for you. Then they delete my notifications. So you can't be notified. Everything for me is getting deleted. I can't hide it. I call a name. I don't know the name of the building. To me, it ain't got a name. It's an intelligence information technology unit. That's where they listen to all of our phone calls. Well, I don't care to listen to me on, because this government thing are nothing that I want. I know I want them out. I want them. I want them to step down and gracefully step aside. Who got to go to jail and who got to go run and hide. That's what I want. I want nothing more else. Some of them could pile away and drop off. Don't mind. So this is Gavin Matthews saying to you, I'm happy that you have joined the program and be a part of it for this 1 hour plus, and say to you that yes, the Christmas time is here. I reminded you again when I first started that I didn't get to complete the Christmas hampers because of the lack of food stuff. Creditable donations, and I know I didn't go through with that, but I'm still looking forward to complete at least 25 between now and Saturday. I'll be very much happy to. So to those who can donate, I don't mind locally if you donate the raw materials, better yet, so I wouldn't have to go looking to buy the food stuff, and I can distribute to the families that we cares for at this end of year and at this time. So stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. Don't forget the little ones you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthews saying good night. Cheerios for now.